beautiful. So it's one way, but there's no one controlling the traffic. It's just kind of like a, oh well, if it's clear, off you go. In New Zealand they'd have the men with the flags and you'd always wave and smile at them because it's what you do. We do that here in Panama too. We're heading into Hornito. We're staying a night here on our way to Bocas del Toro. And this road, a few weeks ago, some big storms came through and washed out a big part of it. It looks like they've pretty much fixed it. I don't know, I think we haven't reached the big washout yet. But the road's really, really good. In fact, pretty much most of Panama's got pretty good roads, but this road's very good. It's a bit windy and it's on the cool side. It's 23 degrees, but we're staying in a little place called Refuge of the Breeze of the Devil. I can't remember how to say it in Espanol. I'm going to flip you around and show you this view. We've got a view of the Volcan Baru, the only volcano in Panama. Apparently, I think it might be the only volcano, and apparently there are sun rainbows over it every morning. So we've got this amazing view off the deck that I'm standing on. Isn't that stunning? And the volcano is just behind the clouds there. We're up in the clouds, people. We're staying in the clouds tonight. Hi everybody. Crikey, how to start. So we're on our way to Bocas del Toro. We booked this trip, I don't know how many weeks ago, Caesar, like 5-6 weeks ago, maybe longer, when everything started opening up in Panama, and then they opened up most tourism internally for the country and also for international arrivals. We're like, okay, well, we can see some of Panama. We booked a couple of trips. And we like to space our trips out and have 2 or 3 weeks home in between each. So you saw, I mean, first of all, we did Playa Venal, and then we went up to the Caribbean coast. We saw Maria Chiquita, Portobello, Cacique, Turtle Cay. That was great. Now we are doing Bocas del Toro. So we booked this trip for the week of Christmas and New Year. That's just how it's spaced out. We didn't actually want to go away for Christmas and New Year. I mean, I don't really care when Christmas is this year. I mean, I'm not even going to have a tree, so it's 2020. Anyway, so everything was going fine until the government announced restrictions for Christmas and New Year. Cases of COVID have been increasing in Panama. I know at least one hospital is full and they've had to create extra beds in like a tent hospital for COVID patients. It's bad. I also have seen every now and then when I can be bothered watching the TV news, which isn't often. I mean, my Espanol is muy mal still. Yo estoy aprendiendo. Poco y poco es mejor. But the doctors and nurses have been also doing a bit of protesting. They haven't been paid for months, apparently, some of them. So the situation is bad. The government doesn't want the remainder of the hospital system to be overwhelmed, and the vaccine is still some months away for Panama. So these are the restrictions that have been announced. It's really frustrating. A few days ago, or was it like a week ago, they announced the first raft of restrictions, and then a few days later they announced some changes and some new stuff. I just wish they would get it straight and just give us one announcement and make it clear, because it just seems to keep changing. Anyway, I need a drink. I'm drinking my margarita in a wine glass, because when I travel I tend to not travel with glassware, and I don't have a margarita glass or a tumbler, but I mean, it tastes the same, right? So okay, I'm going to put an image in here. It's in Espanol though, so I'm going to try and translate for you. These are restrictions in Panama. From the 21st of December to the 24th of December, there will be curfew from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. All beaches, rivers and public swimming pools will be closed. From the 25th of December to the 27th of December, there will be total quarantine, which begins 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve, 24th of December, ends 5 a.m., 28th of December. From the 28th of December to the 31st of December, we return to curfew, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Beaches, rivers and public swimming pools remain closed. And then again, from the 1st to the 3rd of January, total quarantine. Total quarantine means you do not leave your property. Everything is closed. You can't go out. There's nothing to go out for. In addition to the quarantine, the closure of beaches, rivers and public swimming pools and the curfew, we also, for the days when we are allowed to go out, when it's just curfew, we have shopping restricted to genders. So men and women can both go out. We can go for a walk on, well, not on the beach. You can't go for a walk on the beach. That's not allowed. But you could go for a walk in a park or up the street. On Monday and Wednesday, women can enter shops. So the 21st, 23rd, 28th and 30th of December are women's only shopping days. Men can shop Tuesday and Thursday. So the 22nd, 24th, 29th and 31st of December, men only may enter shops. In the first lockdown, which began March and ended somewhere June, July, God, I don't know, it's all hazy now, 2020, right? In the first lockdown, we had gender restrictions and beaches, etc. were closed. But I heard that down in Bocas del Toro and in Playa Vanau in Perissi, down in the Azuero Peninsula, surfing was still kind of permitted. The police there took a slightly different interpretation of the presidential decrees. I guess that's how I might explain that. And they're like, okay, beaches are closed, but I mean, you're in the ocean and surfing is a naturally socially distanced sport. So we were told by the police when we arrived in Playa Vanau some weeks ago and beaches were still technically closed. We are not allowed to hang out on the beach, but we can go surfing. You have to go from your accommodation straight into the ocean, surf, and then go straight back. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do anyway, thanks very much. I think the situation was pretty much the same in Bocas in that first lockdown. So when we get to Bocas tomorrow, I really hope, well, I mean, we'll have a couple of days surfing before the beaches are technically closed, but I hope once we get there, we're going to be able to still surf. But there are a lot of surf spots in Bocas that you can only access via a water taxi, and I don't think the police have boats and go and police all of that. So if we could find a water taxi to take us to some surf spots, there may be some surfing going on. Because I tell you what, I've had enough. I've had enough of 2020. I've had enough of the bullshit. I've had enough of the changing decrees and the changing rules and the constant restrictions, many of which make no sense in regards to COVID. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's nothing about me getting on my surfboard and catching some waves that's going to make me at risk of catching COVID or anyone else at risk of catching COVID. And New Zealand, this is not about bubbles. There are no bubbles here. It's a free-for-all. They're not doing it for bubbles. They're closing beaches because that's where people congregate and party, and they want to stop people congregating and partying. When I'm surfing, I'm not congregating and I'm not partying. I'm avoiding other people. So I intend to surf. That's all I have to say about that. Can't wait for 2021 and a vaccine. I'm going to have some surfing that we did a few days ago again in Punta Chame, Playa Caracol. Is it Playa Caracol, Caesar? See, Playa Caracol to follow. Really looking forward to seeing all the wildlife in Bocas del Toro again. Although I have found a couple of unwanted, unwelcome intruders in the house in the form of large arachnids. I'm not so bad with the spiders. I can let them live. I pop a glass over them and slide it over a piece of card and release it to its freedom outside. Don't mind spiders so long as they're not in my house. It's the flying bugs like the June bugs that fly into my hair that just make me, I can't stand those. So Caesar deals with those and we have fly swats for those. But the spiders can live. Okay, so surfing to follow. And I think I have a cocktail of the week for you that I made up a few days ago. Bye. Hi guys, this week's cocktail of the week is my own creation. I had a cocktail in a restaurant about a week ago that was apparently a traditional Brazilian cocktail. It was really simple and I'm going to recreate it with the Panamanian national liquor. Enjoy. Okay, this is going to be really, really simple. First up I'm going to squeeze a lime, or which one? Yeah, that one. 1 ounce of lime juice, a not too small squirt of some kind of sweetener, and I'm going to use agave because it's low glycemic and possibly slightly less unhealthy. I won't say more healthy because it's not, but less unhealthy. And just kind of give that a stir, mix it together, and then I'm going to get another lime and quarter it like this. Put that in there, fill it with ice, need some soda as well for this. I'm going to give it a double shot because this is a big glass. A double shot, this is the national Panamanian liquor. This is so hard for me to pronounce because it's got 3 R's. Seco Herrerano. I'm not sure what it's made from, I suspect sugarcane. 2 shots of that. Charge it with soda and then get those lime wedges mixed through. There, doesn't that look good? That is really delicious, very limey and super refreshing. Highly recommend.